Hey, it's Ron of the Ronnie Record Show. I'm going to really stump you this time, fans. I'm going to present three names to you, and I think there'll be some surprises here. The first one is Leo Mintz. And you go, who is Leo Mintz? Leo Mintz was instrumental at the birth of rock and roll. Why? He owned the biggest record store in Cincinnati, Ohio. Just happens to be the place where Alan Freed was a DJ, playing, I don't know, just pop music per the station, the way they wanted it. Well, Leo told Alan, there's a genre of music that I've noticed teenagers are coming in and buying like crazy. And Alan said, what is it? It said, it's rhythm and blues. It's a song like this one that was pretty risque at the time that Alan started playing on his radio show, and he hit teenagers all over the world listening to radios underneath the blankets and starting the fire for this kind of music. Rolling all night long. I'm a 60-minute man. So that's Billy Ward and the Dominoes. So that music that Alan Freed started playing just took off like an amazing takeoff for the teenagers who started to listen to rhythm and blues. And you probably all know Alan Freed, but you might not have known about Leo Mintz, who really turned Alan Freed, the disc jockey, onto rhythm and blues. And as you probably know, Alan Freed, he didn't coin the term rock and roll, but he made a popular brand for this kind of music that he was playing. So that term that Alan Freed just, attached to this kind of music just took off like crazy. Now, the next song is critical because this is in the birth of rock and roll, that time when a person named Marian Keisker, or Keisker, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, was a pivotal figure that discovered that well-known person, Elvis Presley. So you think, oh no, that was Sam Phillips of Sun Records. She was Sam Phillips' administrative assistant, okay? She's the one that was listening to Elvis come in and singing a song for his mother, and, they could make records in those days. I used to do that over at the boardwalk in Santa Cruz. You could cut a record for, I don't know, those days, 25 cents, and I think that's probably what Elvis paid to make a record for his mother. Well, she overheard him, and she kept listening to him over about a year. You think Elvis was just discovered like that? No. Took a while, and she went in, this Marian person, this lady went in to her boss, Sam, and said, I think I've discovered the person that you're looking for. It's a country kind of guy, country boy, singing like a rhythm and blues style, okay? And that was true. So during that period, this record came out through Sun Records, sung by Elvis Presley. We all know it. That's All Right. Okay, let's play. Take my well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right, Mama. Okay, we all know that Elvis made, I think, 4 or 5 records for Sun before Colonel Parker stepped in and took him to RCA Victor. Heartbreak Hotel became his big national hit, but that was in 1956. I just want to remind you that Lloyd Price sang Lawdy, Lawdy, Miss Claudie back in 1951. So when you talk about the birth of rock and roll, Elvis was a little late in the game, wouldn't you say? 1956 became his first national song. So we could debate all this, and he the king of rock and roll, maybe, I don't know. I don't think there was any king. I think there were certain key figures like Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Lloyd Price, Ike Turner doing Rocket 88 with Jackie Preston, Shaboom by the Chords. A lot of songs people think were the first rock and roll song. I've got my opinion. I think it's Lloyd Price in 51, way back there. Fats Domino did his song, The Fat Man, back in 1950-51. So there was rock and roll roots going quite far back. Anyway, so I've now told you about Leo Mintz, which I think is a key figure in the birth of rock and roll. Marian Keisker, discovering Elvis, at least that's in my book. The next person might really surprise you. I'm going to say Glenn Ford. Now, I told you wouldn't recognize these people. Of course you recognize Glenn Ford if you've been around for a while. In those old black and white movies, Glenn Ford was quite a big movie star, right? Well, what's he got to do with rock and roll? Let me tell you what he did. He was in Blackboard Jungle, okay? And they were trying to find a theme song to the movie, Blackboard Jungle, where this teacher is in this high school where the kids are starting to be unruly. And so he being the teacher, he went home and looked through his son's record collection and came out with what would be the anthem of rock and roll by some hillbilly. And I know I've kind of criticized Bill Haley in the past because I always thought him as a Western singer, which he was. He used to be Bill Haley and the Saddlemen, all right? So he became the Comets when all of a sudden he was a rock and roll guy. He was an old guy, he had to put a little spit curl on his forehead to pretend he was a young rock and roller. Anyway, I'm sorry, I went on a little rant there. But what's key about this is rock and roll, the Rock Around the Clock became the big anthem, but only because of this movie. That song was released like a year before and didn't go anywhere. So the movie put that song on, became number one, okay, made it happen. And Glenn Ford is the actor that went home and picked that record out of his son's record collection, okay, Rock Around the Clock. And so I give Glenn Ford a lot of credit for being there at the birth of rock and roll. See, that was like early 50s. No, I think it was 1955 when that music came out, before Elvis became a big star, right? So here we got Glenn Ford, and he puts out this song to recommend to his bosses in Hollywood to play for
One, two,
the movie.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your back on. Join me on. We'll have some fun when the first strikes. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock till the broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4.
Well, I hope I challenge you fans. I think it was pretty creative list, don't you? I mean, we usually think of, Sam Phillips, Sun Records, Elvis, that birthing process for rock and roll. But I think it was these 3 key figures that really made it happen. I know there's countless others. Anytime there's a revolution, it's just not one person, it's several. And these 3 people might have surprised you, huh? I hope so. Anyway, This is Ron of the Ronnie Record Show signing off today. I would like to see your comments about my show today. Hope I stumped you.
11 to